and welcome back to another video, and welcome to my YouTube channel if you are new. And my name is Jai, that's J-I. Like, comment, subscribe, all the great stuff. We are reacting to the top 10 Disney fail animatronics malfunction at Disney World. But I don't know. I think that's Disneyland or the Disney error. So sit back, relax, and get your snacks, and let's enjoy the video. I haven't been to Disneyland like so long. I haven't been there like 12 years. But I'm going soon.
Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. We also have Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at TPM Videos.
Okay.
Audio animatronics are found in dozens of Disney rides across the theme parks, and we love animatronics. Many of these figures are extremely impressive,
cool, but
with any sort of technical mechanics, things are bound to fail and go wrong.
Cool.
If you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know it's been quite some time since our last animatronic malfunction video. But we're back. We'll take a look at Malfunctions featuring some very well-known animatronics, while teaching you a little more about these robots, as well as some of the Plan Bs Disney has in place. So today we're going to be counting down the top 10 Disney fails and animatronic malfunctions, part 9.
What's part 9? Okay.
Number 10. A main character featured in Pirates of the Caribbean is the Auctioneer. He's an impressive audio animatronic, which we've shown on the channel before. Now, since animatronics are such a key part of the attraction's storytelling, there are certain figures that when they malfunction, it causes the ride to shut down. The Auctioneer is supposed to be one of these key figures, but it doesn't seem like that's the case with this video from Disneyland that was sent in.
Quit your clucking. The gentleman wants the rum, don't ya, boys?
Oh, it's raining. It's raining like this.
It's really interesting how his legs collapsed sideways, but then the rest of his upper body was moving like normal. This was probably a case of hydraulic pressure in his legs being lost, but it really just looks like he has a bad back. Now, if you are on a ride and see an animatronic malfunctioning, it never hurts to let a cast member know once you get off the ride, so the issue can be looked after and they can return the animatronic to working order. Number 9. Staying at Disneyland, this next one brings us into the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout pre-show room with the Rocket Raccoon audio animatronic. Now, sometimes when Rocket gets a bit fed up with the Collector, he ends up taking a nap.
I'm gonna blast that thing and destroy all the control systems, which will open up every cage in this freak show and free my friend. And then we'll be on our merry way.
Well, in this specific case, all the guests were sent on their merry way out of the pre-show room once the cast members saw him malfunctioning. Now, the Rocket animatronic is a pretty vital component to setting up the story of the attraction. You wouldn't be able to have a complete experience without the pre-show, so Disney set up a Plan B. When the Rocket animatronic malfunctions and isn't operating, he appears on the screen instead of physically showing up in the room.
For those of you who have not been paying attention, the name's Rocket.
Oh, that's pretty convenient.
Oh, look what I said.
That's even weird.
Now move it.
A little clue to find out if you'll be seeing the Rocket animatronic is spotting the Walkman in the display case. If you walk into the room and see it's missing, then you'll be getting Plan B. Number 8.
Okay.
The next malfunction brings us into the finale of the Grand Fiesta Tour in the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot. The 3 Caballeros animatronics were added to the ride in 2015. But sometimes when they take their big final bow at the end of their world tour, well, they have some issues getting back up. Now, these figures look lifeless, but if you pay close attention, you can still see that Panchito's foot and Jose's left hand and foot are still moving.
Oh. I swear, this looks like Was I getting Five Nights at Freddy's?
It's so strange
like
how
these
these are
robots
the only
having
movie parts, don't you think?
I don't know.
Number 7. Splash Mountain is home to dozens of audio animatronics, and it seems like this ride in particular always has an animatronic that's malfunctioning. It's pretty rare that all the figures in the finale are working, and on a trip to Disneyland Splash Mountain back in September, the Fox was busting a move and then busted his back.
So there you go, Five Nights at Freddy's.
The next day we went back to see how Mr. Fox was doing, and they got him back up, but his mouth was the only thing that was moving.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Now, as I was reviewing the footage, I noticed some other things, like the chicken on the 3rd level wasn't moving as well, and one of the hens was missing right here. On another visit, the chicken that should be here was also missing. Now, it is common for Disney to remove one animatronic at a time to fix the figure, so it's actually not a bad thing when an animatronic is fully missing. Number 6. The Hondo Onaka animatronic is the pre-show of Millennium Falcon's Smuggler's Run. Without a working Hondo, you can't have the pre-show. Or can you? Well, when Galaxy's Edge was first in previews at Disney's Hollywood Studios, the Hondo animatronic was having some issues. He must have been malfunctioning, and as soon as guests walked into the pre-show room, Hondo was covered and disguised with what looked like a shipping container and a tarp. Much like with Plan B with the Mission Breakout pre-show, Smuggler's Run also has a Plan B where Hondo disappears on the screens to the right and left.
Hey, Hondo! The recruits are here! Hondo.
Hondo.
Hondo! Are we all in? Good, good, good. For those who don't know me, I am Hondo Onaka, and welcome to my...
I feel like actual person should do that part, or maybe it's too much work.
It's definitely not as exciting as an animatronic,
yes, they should
but it
hire
still provides
somebody.
the story points needed to fly the Falcon.
2 to 3 people do that.
Number 5.
Or 5.
Projections play a big part in the animatronics on Frozen Ever After at Epcot. As much as they look great when they work, you can get some pretty wacky and unsettling malfunctions, like Slot Machine Olaf.
Oh, look at that.
We're going up to Elsa's ice house.
If you think that looks strange, well, get ready for Olaf Skellington.
Ice house. See you there.
We just need to change the music, and it's a completely different ride. Now, speaking of music and sound, this next malfunction with Olaf is interesting. Usually when an animatronic malfunctions and freezes, their show audio still plays, which doesn't make much sense, because if the character isn't alive with animation, then how could it be speaking? I actually think this is a great decision on Disney's part to cut the dialogue when the classic Frozen malfunction takes place. I mean, the only thing he's doing is blinking, and probably blinking for help. So don't worry, buddy. Someone's gonna come get you.
They should use hologram.
Number 4. The highlight of Navi River Journey in Pandora at Disney's Animal Kingdom is the Navi Shaman of Songs. She's a massive figure. The Shaman is the most advanced and complicated animatronic system Disney has developed to date. But when figures are this complex, issues are bound to arise. There's times when the Shaman malfunctions, and although it's yet to be caught on camera, Disney has a quick contingency plan in place. When they notice a problem with the animatronic, she's lowered into the ground for maintenance, and a screen is brought down to project a video of the Shaman. Disney tries to have as little downtime with this ride as possible, so this switchover happens pretty quick. The Shaman of Songs is the biggest wow moment in the ride, so it might be a bit of a letdown to not see her. But the way I see it is that B-Mode Shaman is better than no Shaman at all. It keeps her cousin company at Expedition Everest. Go Disco Yeti! Number 3. We're going back to the animatronics on Frozen Ever After. And like we saw with the Olaf projection malfunctions, well, Elsa has experienced her own problems and just can't seem to let it go. It looks weird seeing her without a face, but it isn't as unsettling as Olaf Skellington. Ooh. Now next to Olaf, Elsa seems like the animatronic that malfunctions the most on the ride. And although she's usually an extremely fluid figure, sometimes she gives Frozen a whole new meaning.
Ooh.
Now remember how we talked about Disney having contingency plans? Well, there's one set in place that if the ride itself breaks down and malfunctions, leaving you stuck in front of Elsa, she'll finish singing Let It Go, then in true Disney fashion, she stays animated, waving to guests in the boat.
Ooh. That looks so scary.
It's pretty clever, isn't it? It's just like any Disney character would do in a show or parade breakdown.
Oh. I'm telling you, these robots have mind their own.
This next one takes us into Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters at Disneyland. Now on this list, a common malfunction we've seen are static animatronics, just like how Buzz is here. Well, back in June of 2018, a malfunction similar to Ursula losing her head happened to Buzz Lightyear, and instead of his head, it was his hand.
Oh, check that out. Oh. Can I get Buzz a hand?
Now this must have just been an issue with a couple screws coming loose that hold his hand in place, since all his fingers are still functioning like normal. Around Buzz Lightyear you'll see this rod, and in a case with a malfunction like this, they would put a curtain around the animatronic to block it from the queue while maintenance repairs the figure.
Oh, okay.
Number 1. For this last one, we're gonna literally shake things up as we head on Spaceship Earth at Epcot. Now this ride is filled with dozens of audio animatronics, and they go from looking like this to malfunctioning like this.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Her head at the top.
I mean, that's a pretty violent shake. We need to see that one again. Even the lab worker, he's leisurely going about his daily business and then sips a little too much coffee and then ends up all like...
Oh.
Even King Triton on the Little Mermaid ride seems to have the case of the shakes as well.
Oh.
Now, what I've realized in all three of these malfunctions is that all the figures are limited motion animatronics. They aren't advanced A100 figures, but I feel like the shaking issue has something to do with the compliance software failing. Compliance was something that was developed by Disney that acts as a shock absorber and alleviates pressure during the animatronic movement. That, mixed with issues in the hydraulic pressure with the actuators and valves, could definitely cause this malfunction. I mean, either way, this is quite the sight. So have you ever experienced an animatronic fail or malfunction while on a Disney ride? I'd love to know. Leave a comment down below to start a conversation, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. If you have any videos from the Disney...
Hit the like button. Some of these robots, animatronics were creepy, but I feel like some of the they can hire somebody to play some of these characters. Hire like 1 or 5 people, or no, 2 or 5 people. But yeah, I think some of these robots, they have their mind of their own. I don't know. Like for the instance, the Elsa one, she just waves goodbye. That's the only thing that's working. She waves goodbye, and how she's waving, it's just so scary, but funny at the same time. So tell me guys what you think about this video, And give a like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. And it's your life. Do what you want and do it positively. Peace.